7 divine dreams that reveal you're the chosen one. Last night, something happened while you slept. You felt it the moment you opened your eyes, that lingering sensation of being somewhere else, of receiving something ancient and sacred. Stop scrolling and listen closely, because what I'm about to reveal will shatter everything you thought you knew about your dreams. You are not dreaming randomly. You are being contacted. The 7 dreams I'm about to decode have been appearing to awakened souls for millennia. And if you're watching this right now, it's because your spiritual frequency has shifted. You've been selected to receive these nocturnal transmissions. Miss even one detail of what comes next, and you might miss the very message that unlocks your next spiritual breakthrough. The veil between dimensions grows thinnest when your conscious mind finally surrenders control. That's when the divine speaks in languages your soul remembers but your mind has forgotten. Ancient symbols, cryptic scenarios, prophetic warnings wrapped in mystery. You've been experiencing dreams that feel different lately, haven't you? More vivid, more meaningful, more intentional. That's because they are. The universe doesn't waste visions on the spiritually dormant. These dreams are reserved for those called to see beyond the illusion. Tonight, we journey into the 7 most powerful dream codes that heaven uses to communicate with chosen vessels. Each one carries a specific frequency, a distinct purpose, a sacred assignment meant only for your path. If you're ready to decode the mysteries of your sleeping mind, hit that subscribe button right now, because this knowledge isn't for everyone. It's for the awakened few who dare to listen when the cosmos whispers. Dream Code 1. The Waters of Revelation. When water appears in your nocturnal visions, you're not witnessing mere H2O. You're being shown the language of the soul itself. Water is the universe's way of revealing the unseen currents flowing through your spiritual existence. But the message changes with the water's behavior. Were you drowning, gasping for breath as invisible forces pulled you under? This isn't a nightmare. It's an urgent revelation. Your spirit is suffocating under unexpressed emotions, buried traumas, and wounds you've hidden so deep they're poisoning you from within. The dream is heaven's emergency call, demanding you surface before you're consumed by your own silence. Perhaps instead, you witnessed still waters, crystal clear, perfectly calm, reflecting eternity itself. This is divine alignment made visible. Even if your waking life feels chaotic, your soul has found its rhythm with the cosmic flow. You're moving in harmony with forces greater than yourself. But when the waters rage, when storms arise and currents threaten to carry you into the unknown, don't mistake this for danger. This is sacred transformation. The divine is washing away the old structures within you, dissolving the barriers that have kept you small. You're not being destroyed, you're being baptized into a higher version of yourself. The crucial question isn't what the water means, but how you respond to it. Do you fight the current, try to control the depths, or surrender to the sacred flow? Because in that response lies the key to your next spiritual evolution. Pay attention to this. The next time liquid mystery visits your dreams, don't ask, "What does this mean?" Instead, whisper into the darkness, "Divine Source, where are you trying to carry me that my fear refuses to go?" Dream Code 2. The Serpent's Warning. When the serpent slithers into your sleeping consciousness, ancient alarm bells should sound in your spirit. This is no random nightmare. It's a coded transmission from realms that see what your physical eyes cannot. The serpent doesn't speak in words. It communicates in pure spiritual intelligence. You've been bitten in the dream realm, haven't you? That venom coursing through your spiritual veins isn't physical. It's the poison of deception. Someone in your waking life is injecting toxicity into your energy field through jealousy, gossip, or outright betrayal. They smile in your presence while praying for your downfall in private. The location of the bite reveals everything. Bitten on the hand? Your divine calling is under attack. Someone is trying to cripple your ability to create, to heal, to manifest. Bitten on the foot? They're working to derail your spiritual journey, to send you down paths that lead away from your destiny. But what if the serpent remained hidden, concealed beneath your bed, lurking in tall grass, or worse, hiding behind someone you trust? This is spiritual surveillance in action. You're being watched by a camouflaged threat. Someone you've welcomed into your inner circle may be the very gateway through which dark forces are attempting to access your life. However, if you killed the serpent in your dream, celebration is in order. You've just witnessed victory in the unseen realms. A spiritual battle was fought and won while your body rested, but your soul stood armored and ready. This is divine deliverance in action. These serpent dreams aren't sent to frighten you. They're designed to sharpen your spiritual discernment, to activate that inner radar that can distinguish between genuine kindness and venom disguised as virtue. Some smiles carry poison. Some prayers are curses wrapped in false light. The next time scales shimmer in your nocturnal visions, don't panic. Instead, ask with bold spiritual authority, Divine Source, reveal to me who in my life is close enough to strike, but deceptive enough to hide their true intentions. Dream Code 3. The Threshold of Destiny. Doors in dreams are never just doors. They are spiritual thresholds, dimensional gateways, cosmic checkpoints where your soul encounters the intersection between what is and what could be. When a door manifests in your sleeping mind, you're being shown something your physical reality cannot yet contain. An open door doesn't automatically mean enter. It's a test of spiritual readiness. What you're seeing before you was prayed for by the version of yourself that barely survived last year's trials. This open portal represents your next spiritual season becoming available. But your obedience remains the key. If the door stands locked before you, resist the urge to view this as rejection. Divine timing operates by laws your impatient mind cannot comprehend. A locked door is often cosmic protection, preventing you from carrying weight you're not yet strong enough to bear. Sometimes heaven's silence speaks louder than any yes. But pay careful attention if the door appears broken or damaged. This represents a security breach in the spiritual realm. An enemy has identified your access point and is attempting to sabotage your next move before you can make it. Not every open path is divinely ordained. Not every opportunity comes from the light. Here's where it gets deeper. If you find yourself standing before a mysterious door, unable to move, paralyzed by uncertainty about what lies beyond, the dream may not be about the door at all. It may be about your readiness. Sometimes we've been praying for futures we haven't mentally or spiritually stepped into. When you encounter that hallway, that handle, that unknown space beyond the threshold, ask yourself, do I possess the faith to walk through what I've begged the universe to send? Dream Code 4. The Sacred Seed. When an infant appears in your dreams, you're not witnessing innocence. You're being shown responsibility. This child represents a divine deposit, something fragile yet holy, something small yet destined to reshape generations. A baby in your dream arms means the universe has entrusted you with something sacred. A vision, a purpose, a spiritual assignment conceived before you drew your first breath. But just because it rests in your hands doesn't guarantee its safety. This spiritual seed requires feeding, protection, fierce guardianship. You must fight for it. If the baby cries in your vision, don't dismiss that sound as mere noise. That's your calling desperately begging for attention. You've delayed something crucial too long, postponed obedience, doubted your own divine capacity. Heaven is done waiting. The most alarming version, seeing an abandoned infant. This represents spiritual pregnancy left unattended. You've walked away from something eternal, something that won't survive without your nurturing presence. Just like a newborn in the physical realm, if you don't feed it, it dies. This transcends biological parenthood. This is about legacy, about the unseen weight you've been carrying in your spirit. You know it's there. That pressure, that stirring, that divine heaviness you cannot explain to others. And here's what most fail to realize. The enemy isn't threatened by who you are now. He's terrified of what you're carrying. That's why the spiritual warfare has intensified around you. That's why your sleep patterns have shifted. Something inside you is preparing to emerge, and dark forces are working overtime to prevent its birth. This is the perfect moment to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Because understanding these dream codes isn't just information, it's preparation for the battle over what you're destined to birth into this world. The next time an infant visits your dreams, don't ask, "What is this?" Instead, ask, "Divine Source, how do I properly raise what you've just birthed within me?" Dream Code 5. Visitations from Beyond. There are dreams that whisper, and then there are dreams that pierce through the veil between worlds. When someone who has transitioned from this physical plane visits you in the night, you're not simply remembering. You're being summoned into a realm where the eternal and temporal briefly merge. This transcends nostalgia or resurfacing grief. Sometimes the divine speaks through familiar faces to bypass your analytical mind and reach the part of your soul that still listens when you're most vulnerable. Maybe they spoke directly to you. Maybe they communicated only through meaningful glances. Or perhaps they remained silent, yet you awakened crying. That's not mere emotion. That's a message. The universe may be delivering closure, healing wounds you never properly processed, or passing along prophetic instructions that your conscious mind would dismiss in daylight's harsh reality. Sometimes, these encounters are ancestral awakenings, reminders that a generational battle has reached its final warrior. You, bloodline patterns seeking resolution, family curses demanding to be broken, spiritual inheritances waiting to be claimed. But listen carefully. Not every presence originates from the light. The adversary is a master of disguise, crafting counterfeit visitations designed to distract, deceive, and derail. How can you discern the difference? It's not found in what is said, but in what remains after you wake. If the encounter leaves peace, conviction, or clarity, heaven touched you. If it leaves confusion, fear, or obsession, it was sent to distort your path. This is why spiritual discernment is your greatest shield. When the departed appear, you must ask not with emotion, but with spiritual authority. Divine Source. Was this visitation from your light, or was it shadow-wearing memory as a mask? Because chosen ones are not merely dreamers, we are gatekeepers, and not every spirit deserves access to our sacred space. Dream Code 6. The Divine Reset. There exists a dream that doesn't arrive with symbols or metaphors. It arrives with pure impact, a sudden jolting descent that snaps you awake with your heart hammering against your ribs. You are falling. But this isn't anxiety or mental spiraling. This is your spirit being divinely interrupted. When heaven allows you to fall in dreams, punishment isn't the purpose. Repositioning is. Perhaps you're losing control of something you were never meant to manage alone. A relationship, a title, a role you've outgrown. Instead of releasing, you've been desperately gripping a version of life that the divine has already called you away from. Or maybe you're clinging to pride, to illusions of stability, to platforms built on fear rather than faith. The fall becomes heaven's mercy, stripping away everything false before it collapses with you beneath it. Yet sometimes the divine lets you plummet almost to impact, just to demonstrate that you're still caught. What felt like failure was actually formation, a sacred reset, designed not to break you, but to rebuild you on truth. Here's what few understand. Falling in dreams doesn't always signal danger. It can mean you're finally being separated from what was never authentically you. Ego, pride, control. Heaven is tearing down the false foundations. The question isn't, why am I falling? It's, what have I built my identity upon that the divine is now shaking? Because the fall isn't the end. It's the beginning of something genuinely grounded. As you awaken breathless, confused, afraid, heaven's whisper cuts through the chaos. When everything collapses, I remain your foundation. Dream Code 7. The Watchers. This final dream doesn't arrive with monsters, fire, or chaos. It comes with something far more unsettling. The unmistakable sensation that you're being observed. Not by any person or entity you can identify, but by something unseen yet undeniably present. You scan your dream environment. Nothing visible, yet the atmosphere presses heavy around you. You feel judged, measured, known in ways that penetrate beyond surface awareness. This isn't paranoia manifesting. This is spiritual awakening. You've crossed a threshold, and now you register on frequencies you didn't know existed. When you've been marked by destiny, both heavenly and dark realms take notice. Angels observe your growth. Demons study your vulnerabilities. The spiritual atmosphere itself becomes aware of your presence. But here's what most miss entirely. You're not being watched because you're weak. You're being monitored because you've become dangerous. Your anointing is ascending. Your spiritual authority is expanding. The unseen realms track your every movement because your next decision could trigger generational transformation. This dream serves as a spiritual briefing. The divine is revealing that you're now a key player in battles that others sleep through entirely. You're no longer hidden, no longer protected by obscurity. You've been illuminated like a signal beacon, visible to both darkness and light. So the next time you feel those invisible eyes upon you, don't retreat or diminish yourself. Stand in your full spiritual stature, because that gaze confirms this truth. Your time to move, speak, and lead has arrived. You've been seen. Now, act like the called one you are. If this resonates with your spirit, subscribe to this channel right now. Because we don't just feed minds here, we awaken souls. And you can no longer dream the same way because now you understand your visions are guiding you toward a destiny you cannot afford to miss. What you once dismissed as mere dreams were never random neural firings. They were celestial blueprints, encrypted transmissions, sacred instructions hidden within nocturnal visions. While others scroll through meaningless distractions, you are being systematically activated. While humanity sleeps unconsciously, heaven is training you in realms beyond physical comprehension. Every symbol, every scenario, every inexplicable emotion upon waking was the divine marking you, hiding messages within mystery that only spiritually awakened souls could decode. The universe is not silent. It has been speaking to you in your sleep, because your spirit was ready long before your mind could process the magnitude. Tonight, don't approach sleep like always. Don't close your eyes as if nothing supernatural is occurring. Lie down with expectation, with purpose, with prophetic anticipation. Because those who are truly called do not merely rest. They watch. They do not dream randomly. They receive divine maps. Type this declaration in the comments right now. Divine Source, speak to me while I sleep. Let heaven witness your response. Let the cosmic codes continue flowing. Let your soul remain alert, even in darkness. If this revelation has awakened something within your spirit, share this video with another chosen soul. Because the called do not journey alone. We recognize each other, activate each other, confirm each other's divine assignments. Your dreams will never be the same again. Because now you know, they're not escapes from reality. They're invitations into it. The light of wisdom illuminates even the darkest dreams. Amen.